Ladies and gentlemen, joining the Compas next. We love him. He is the best. He said, hey, I love jumping on with the Compas. Tony Khan, AEW and Jaguars president. Tony, thank you so much for yet again being with the Compas.
It's great to see you both. Thanks for having me on, as always.
Yeah, Tony, last time you were here, we talked about, hey, are you coming to LA? Are you coming out of the West Coast? And now it's like a whole bunch of shows you already had, and you got more coming up. Can you tell about these West Coast shows that you had and then coming up?
Yeah, tremendous shows coming up. We have March 5th, one of the biggest pay-per-view shows in AEW history, and I think it could be the best wrestling pay-per-view of 2023. Coming up less than a month away now, March 5th at the Chase Center in San Francisco. It's going to be awesome. AEW Revolution, the biggest main event in AEW history, one of the greatest values in pay-per-view history. MJF defending the AEW World Championship, the most prized championship in all of pro wrestling, against the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, in a 60-minute Iron Man match. You've got MJF, the most hated man in wrestling, going 60 minutes with the greatest technical wrestler in the world, probably the greatest technical wrestler ever, and Bryan Danielson, who's not just a technical wrestler, he's got so much fire. That's what they call him, the American Dragon. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. MJF is not one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and I'm so excited for the match. I think it's going to be great. March 5th in San Francisco at the Chase Center, and also in Los Angeles, I have to say, a big event coming up also for Ring of Honor. I never thought I'd be doing a show WrestleMania weekend, but when I bought Ring of Honor, unfortunately, that's one of the things I signed up for. Supercard of Honor is one of the greatest events, and they have traditionally done it there. So I'm bringing it to the Galen Center March 31st. So that'll also be awesome. Coming in and having those big shows on the West Coast. And we've had some great shows. We were at the Forum just earlier a few weeks ago, and that was an amazing show. Both times we've done the Forum, the crowd has been amazing, and I think we've got a great relationship and a great thing there. But I'm excited to do the Galen Center too. Hopefully see you both of you guys at the Chase Center and the Galen Center.
Gilbert, tell them who amazed you when you were out there in LA.
Tony, we try to be prepared. I'm like, okay, Fernando, you get the next question, but I got too excited with MJF. Maybe you not so much, but I was out there at the Forum when he just dropped that epic pipe bomb or whatever you want to call it promo, and maybe you had no clue that was coming, but I was like, okay, this guy, I'm gonna run through a brick wall for MJF. I'm a fan. I loved it at the Forum. I was there. I think I dropped my beer at one point because it went from like slow and then, okay, what are you saying? I'm interested. And then like screaming. I'm like, at that point, okay, I'm hooked on AEW MJF. But what did you think about that moment?
I'm surprised that's your reaction, knowing the positive interactions we've always had. I'm surprised that was how you felt in that situation, Gilbert. But so no, I was quite taken aback. It was not. That being said, MJF's a great wrestler, and it's great having him in AEW, and he is the world champion. But on March 5th, I'm very much looking forward to seeing him go toe-to-toe for 60 minutes with the greatest wrestler in the world, Bryan Danielson. It's going to be a great match at Revolution. March 5th on pay-per-view. And we have great shows coming up. We're on TNT tonight, Friday Night Rampage. We have a huge lineup on tonight's show. We have some of the biggest names in AEW wrestling on Friday Night Rampage all in 1 hour, when you've got Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta and Claudio, the whole Blackpool Combat Club out in action, led by Jon Moxley. And you've got, oh man, so much. Ruby Soho in action, Jungle Boy in action, and Orange Cassidy defending the championship all tonight on Friday Night Rampage. That's pretty cool on TNT, 10 o'clock tonight. But also, when you look at Wednesday Night Dynamite next week, we've been doing great shows. Very excited. We'll have another great crowd. We're coming to Laredo. Very cool to be down in those markets. We've had great experience with the fans down in Laredo. We were in El Paso last week, so doing some different markets in Texas, which has been excellent. And I can't wait to get back out on the West Coast with you guys.
Tony, I gotta ask. I mean, the biggest free agency is coming up of 2024. We keep on hearing about it. He keeps on mentioning about it. Are you ready for that moment when a certain individual becomes a free agent and says it's the biggest free agency in the history of pro wrestling?
Well, I think that would be certainly, we'll see what happens between now and then. But that's all I would say is there's a lot of time between now and 2024. 2023 just started, And I'm really excited because we're off to the best start we've ever had to start a year. And I really believe going into Revolution, the company's so hot. The shows have been so strong. Every show in 2023 has been strong. We started on the West Coast. We Seattle, Portland, LA, Fresno, Lexington, Kentucky, and then with Dayton, Ohio, and now we've been in Texas this week for El Paso, Wednesday Night Dynamite on TBS, and then tonight, Friday Night Rampage on TNT, and then we're in Laredo next week. But, 2023 is just getting going, so it's a long way away.